First impressions are not always right. One time Alyssa was driving home from her high school basketball game when she noticed the car was driving closely behind her. At first she thought this must be a coincidence, but every turn she made this car followed, and quickly she became scared. Then this car began flashing its headlights at her every few seconds. At this point Alyssa was terrified. She drove home quickly, got out of her car, and went inside her house to call the police. This car parked right next to her waiting, but no one could expect the true reason why Alyssa was being followed. The police arrived and tried to arrest the man, but he insisted he never did anything wrong. And this is when Alyssa found out the truth. The man pointed to Alyssa's car and there was another man crouched in the backseat with a knife. He had gotten into Alyssa's car right after the basketball game, and the man following Alyssa saw this all happen but had no way to help her. So he followed her home and flashed his headlights every time the man got up to stab her. Turns out the man that Alyssa thought was following her was actually the person that saved her life.
If you can solve this riddle, you're a genius. There was this woman and she was a serial killer. She would take men on dates and then poison them and kill them. One day she goes on a date with you. Ooh, but she can't go through with it because she's so in love with you. Eventually you two end up getting married and you buy a house together. When you buy the house, she claims the basement for her work and she says that you're not allowed to go down there. You say okay and you're happily married. But as time goes on, you get really curious and one day she leaves for work and you decide to go downstairs and see what's down there. When you go downstairs, it's pitch black and you reach around the walls to see if there's a light switch to turn on, but there isn't. As you're feeling around the room, there's a light bulb above you that is unscrewed a little bit. You screw it in a little bit more to turn on the light. Immediately you see all the dead bodies that she's ever killed and you're in shock as you're looking around for a while, but then you hear her car pull up in the driveway and she's home from work. You quickly unscrew the light bulb, run upstairs and sit down. When she gets home, she goes downstairs to check on her dead bodies and she immediately knew that you were in there. How did she know? Pause this video right now because I'm about to say the answer. It was because the light bulb was still hot.
This is why you should never study too much. Kenzie's mom was obsessed with her getting good grades, but she could have never expected the terrifying things that this would lead to. Eventually, Kenzie's mom bought her an old school desk so she could study even more at home, but this was a grave mistake. Soon, Kenzie started to feel a sharp pain in her back, but only when she sat in the desk. This got worse and worse until she just couldn't study anymore, but no one could expect the true reason behind why this was happening. Kenzie's mother started to worry, so they brought her to the doctors. Mysteriously, there was nothing wrong with her, but one day by accident, they found a secret none of them know. Something truly horrifying was happening behind the scenes, and nothing about Kenzie's mysterious back pain or the desk is what they think it is. Follow for part 2. This is why you should never study too much. Kenzie's mom was obsessed with her grades, so she bought her an old school desk so she could study more at home. But Kenzie soon felt a mysterious pain in her back that only be there when she sat in the desk. No one could find the reason why, until one day, after going to doctors and even psychics for help, Kenzie's mother became desperate. But she could have never imagined the true reason behind Kenzie's mysterious back pain, and the truth behind this desk was something much more terrifying. Kenzie's mom decided to take a photo of her in the desk to fix her posture, and this led to their horrifying discovery. When the photo was developed, she saw a shadowy figure hanging above Kenzie, trying to put her feet on Kenzie's shoulders. The next morning, her mom angrily returned the desk, and that's when she found out the figure in the photo was a girl who used to sit in this desk until the pressure of being perfect was just too much to handle, and she passed away in the classroom. Once there was a young woman named Natalie who went to visit a loved one at a cemetery. It was late at night, so she got tired and found a stone bench to sit on to take a break before heading home. But this turned out to be a terrifying mistake. Soon she heard the voice of a woman. It grew closer and closer until it turned into a scream, but no one was there. Natalie tried to leave, but she looked down and she saw a pair of hands grabbing her feet. She shook herself free and ran as fast as she could, not being sure what just happened. She got home and carried on with her life, trying to forget it. But soon, one night when she was alone, she heard that same voice again. What Natalie didn't know is that that night in the cemetery, she had unknowingly sat in the devil's chair, an urban legend originating in Florida that every year on a special night, a chair would rise from the ground in a cemetery. This chair is rumored to be built by the devil himself, and he would even return to sometimes sit in it. And if you dare sit in his chair, you would have made a deal with the devil. He will whisper evil ideas into your ear and haunt you forever, or he will return for you when you least expect it.